All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Clannad,
episode 19. Holy shit.
Last episode was just delightful. Delightful. And now
wonderful.
the harem has been shattered.
Disbanded.
Tarnished, if you will.
Right. Yeah, because Nagisa's back. And
She's back.
suddenly everything becomes a lot simpler.
It became so much clearer. It's kind of funny how, in some ways, the last person to get it might be Okazaki. Like, just the idea that everyone else looks at it and goes, oh, okay.
Right. I'm just going to go cry now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene with Kyo and Ryo is
really strong.
Has got to be one of my favorites from Clannad. Like this season, not after story.
But Tomoyo is the now student council president.
Indeed. And she met Nagisa, and she's like, okay, you are the one with the theater club. I get Okazaki's whole thing. I see. But now, maybe the theater club will have a real shot.
Yeah, a real shot. Yeah. Very possible. The motivation to start this whole story, basically, is coming all the way back in right near the end of this season. So, yeah.
I gotta say, Caleb, if you ever see me getting, like, really emotional, seemingly for no reason, it's because we're now getting to the end of, like, the first season. And I'm realizing, like, yes, after story is coming. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Shall now finally see them in action. Both! We'll call him Shared Sensei.
Yes.
Hey! Oppa!
Yep.
You won the war.
特に僕の功績は大きいよね。あんたなんかしたっけ？
Hello? Tsunohara did help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really did.
It wasn't for everyone. Yes, exactly.
And Fuko shows up and is like, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
俺の言葉が信じられないのか。
はい。
そこにされてしまった。
風崎さん、時々嘘つきですから。
Call him out.
Yep.
New life.
こりゃ面白い絵だな。岡崎が女の子の尻に敷かれてるなんて。
別にそういうわけじゃ。
普段は私が引っ張ってもらってます。
岡崎も丸くなったもんだ。君、一緒に来てくれないか？岡崎が逃げないように。
はい、私でお役に立てるなら。
Recruited.
お前はコウムラと
You've turned her against me.
You have done that yourself.
そっちも大切です。
男手一つでお前みたいな子を育てるなんて。
さあ。出かけてるみたいだ。
しょうがない。中で待たせてもらうか。
は？
それが仕事だ。明日の朝までだって待つぞ。
俺、親父探してくれ。
ほら、岡崎。
Jeez.
Yeah.
このまま篠原の部屋に行くか。
岡崎さん。
Oh.
逃げてきたんですね。岡崎さん、ちゃんとついてきてくださいね。
あの人の中では、俺はもう息子じゃないんだ。前に話したろ。親父と喧嘩して肩を痛めてバスケができなくなったって。
Yeah.
あの時からずっとあんな風なんだ。同じ屋根の下で別々に暮らしてきた。あの人はいつもああやって穏やかに笑って一人で生きてきたんだ。俺と親父はもうずっと前から家族じゃないんだよ。
私の家に来ますか？
Oh.
ご迷惑でなければですけど。
いや、そんなことは。
少し距離を置いてお互いのことを考えるといいと思います。お二人は家族です。だから距離を置けば絶対に寂しくなるはずです。そうすれば相手を好きだったことを思い出して、次会った時にはゆっくり話し合うことができると思います。ただお父さんのことは。
気にしないでくれ。あの人はああしてずっと一人で暮らしてきたんだから。
そうですか。
Oh,
でも
Yeah.
たまにはお家に。
ああ、たまにならな。
you gonna say goodbye? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh shit.
智也君、どこかへ行くのかい？
友達の家に
大きなカバンだね。
しばらく泊めてもらう。いつ帰るかは決めてない。
そうか。寂しくなるね。智也君はいい話し相手だったからね。
こっちにも都合があるんだ。分かってくれ。
そうだね。
じゃあ行くから。さよなら、父さん。
Yeah. Couldn't call him father to his face because he wouldn't call you son to his.
チース。
なんだてめえこんな時間。
渚のやつまだ話してくれてないのか？
用がないなら帰れ。仕事の邪魔だ。
渚さん。
いらっしゃい、岡崎さん。今日からよろしくお願いしますね。
Yeah, she knows.
こ
Of
ちらこ
course.
そ
Yeah, yeah.
お世話になります。
お世話？何の話だ？
岡崎さんは今日からしばらくうちに泊まられるんですよ。
なんだと？
さっき渚から聞いたでしょ。
まあな。
知ってたのか。
Initiation.
Yes.
だがな、さなえよ。
なんでしょう。
ハレム状態じゃなくなるのは切ないものなんだぞ。
岡崎さん、明夫さんはほっといていいですから、どうぞ中へ。
はい。
遠慮しろよな、てめえ。
はいはい、お仕事しましょう。
God, the self-awareness.
Yep.
It's painful.
Mm-hmm.
こんないい部屋使っていいのか？
They just yeeted the
Yeah.
table to the side.
お布団はここです。岡崎さん、苦手だったら私が敷いたり畳んだりします。
あ、いいよ。それぐらい自分でできる。
万年床にしたらダメです。
お前、意外と世話焼きなんだな。
そんなことないです。自分のことで精一杯です。
お前、いっつも他人の心配ばっかしてるじゃないか。
お茶でもどうですか？
ああ、どうも。
Just normal.
Yep.
なんか落ち着かない。
Yeah, yeah.
A family.
すぐになれるか。
それでは行ってきます。はい、行ってらっしゃい。岡崎さんも言わないとダメです。
え、俺も？
Yeah.
行ってきます。
When was the last time you had to say that?
お父さん、行ってきます。
お、気をつけてな。
岡崎さん。
Mm-hmm.
行ってくるな。
おう、行ってかましてくれ。
何をだ？早苗さんもおっさんもすごく自然に送り出してくれたな。
But not with my daughter, you know.
とっても楽しいです。
俺は
I don't know. Maybe he's cheering
Maybe he is.
them on.
He
You
could
know?
be. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
でも私、岡崎さんのおかげでいろんなことに自信が持てるようになってきました。今日から学園祭まで私全力で頑張ります。
ああ、その息だ。
戦慄。
いい音。
あんたね、遊びじゃないのよ。
It absolutely is a game.
Yeah.
渚ちゃん何？
何ですか？
岡崎より僕の方が手を取り合って夜露に濡れた森を走る二人。しかし振り返るとそこには怒り狂った岡崎がさらに前を向くと牙をむき出しにした京都ともの最悪コンビが何も殴ることないよね。
No, they didn't. But
さっきの一人芝居面白
Yep.
かった。
yeah,
As far as Tsunohara bits go,
it's
That was a
pretty
good one.
decent.
ただいま帰りました。
ただいまっす。なんなんだよお前ら。
What?
この子たちは古川塾の生徒さんたちです。
Ah! I'm going through stuff.
なっちゃんがピンチ。岡崎さん。はい皆さん始めますよ。
The gremlins have taken over.
mm-hmm.
なんだてめえ、暇なら店を
Yeah.
つうかむしろお前が店番して俺を暇にしろ。忙しいのは朝と夕方だ。これでも俺の焼いたパンは評判いいんだぞ。
早苗さん大丈夫なのか？
No, her bread is
あ
horrible.
いつのパンはたまに心の優しいお客さんが買っていってくれる。
パンじゃなくて
Yeah, I knew you'd respond that way,
子供
yeah.
の相手って大変だろ
Ooh.
それなら心配するな。
Ooh, I saw
本
that.
業だ。中学校の教師をしてたこともある。
I saw that.
う。なんで先生辞めちまったんだ？
ま、いろいろあってよ。
To Nagisa.
疲れた。お前んとこ客なんか珍しくないんだろ？メイちゃんも止めてたし。
そうですけど、やっぱり岡崎さんは特別です。お邪魔なら出て行きます。
いや、邪魔じゃないよ。
Not at all.
ただ、なんていうか、俺も不思議な感じだ。俺、物心ついた時には母親がいなかったし、親父はずっとあんなだろ。仲のいい親子を見てると不思議な感じがするんだよ。
私、お父さんとお母さんにすごく大事にしてもらってます。二人に謝れてないことがあるんです。
何か悪いことをしたのか？
わからないんです。私が小さかった頃、
Oh
お父さんとお
no.
母さんに何かすごく
Oh no.
悪い
Yeah,
ことをするんです。
yeah. All the pieces are falling into
気の
place.
せいなんじゃないのか？
Yeah.
お父さんもお母さんもそう言います。きっとそこには私が謝らなければいけないことが
Oh, and this
隠され
tied
ている
into
ん
why
です
she knows the play but not the
謝らなけれ
title.
ばいけないこと？
Oh.
私知りたいです。知って謝りたいです。すみません。私聞かれてもいないのにこんなことを相
No,
談
this
して
is normal. Just
気にするな。
processing and talking about things that
今
you're
更だろ。
feeling about. Yeah.
俺はちょっと篠原のところに顔出してくるから、たまには言ってやらないと寂しがるからな。やっぱりこの部屋に来ると落ち着くな。お茶。
てねえっつの。お前今日は弁当とか持ってきてないの？
ああ、さっき食わせてもらってきた。
あ、
Huh?
渚ちゃんちだろ。
よくわかったな。
羨ましいね。
そうは言うけど、なんか言いづらいんだよ。止めてもらえるのはありがたいけど、アットホームな雰囲気になれなくてさ。
Stay? Chonto the fucking Monte! I can read this blonde boy's fucking mind.
Yep. I'm not talking to you anymore.
俺が親父とうまくいってないの知って、あいつが気を使ってくれて。
しといて誤解も減ってる。公認じゃん。
Yep.
俺たちはそういう関係じゃないんだって。
Bullshit.
お
Yeah.
前まだそんなこと言ってるのかよ。
Uh-huh.
あたも何も。
ああ、渚ちゃんも可愛いそうね。
Told you, he's the last person to
Uh-huh.
realize, yeah. Oh.
僕
We
は
haven't seen this in a while.
ガラクタを集めてもう一体の人形を作ろうとしていた。僕は僕のような存在が増えればもっと楽しくなるはずだと思っただけだ。
God, these scenes are all so beautiful.
無理かもしれないけど。
Okay.
So,
Well, the build-up. The build-up is real. Daikozaku. Jacob's like,
I didn't.
I am cursed with knowledge.
But no, it's okay. So I'm not gonna say anything of what happens, in the future of the show. But you know the reputation of this show and that it's emotional, right?
Yeah. Emotional damage.
Exactly. And as we're coming up on the emotional damage and even experiencing some of it right now.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward in where things are going. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
a question of like why does this show have an after story? Like
Good question.
like
It's a real good question. And
what kind of like story needs an after story, you
right.
know?
Yeah, it's a real good question. But like, I didn't expect it to be this visceral of a response of like associated dread and sorrow and happiness and
Jeez,
you know
man. All right, we got ourselves everything resolved at the school with regards to the acquisition of our sensei. We now have our
the
what are they called? The club,
counselor,
the play club,
or the theater club.
Theater club.
Theater club has their
choir club.
has their faculty person to.
Well, yeah, but they also have their play that they're basically getting prepped for. But now they have learned from Nagisa that there's actually another play that she always wanted to do, but she doesn't actually know what it's called. She just remembers the play, which is interesting because there's been this kind of undertone of Nagisa in where she's not really well in some kind of physical way, but there is some emotional ties that she has to her past that are locked away behind some, experiences and stuff. Like, well, one, she ended up having to skip a year.
Right.
Which seems to be hinting at something rather particular. But in some ways, that's also kind of, I would say, hinting at the idea that there's almost some time in her life that's been skipped. Like, there's been things that she has, like, memory-wise, just not really good, like, handle on that stuff.
Right, because there's the gap year, and then there's also the time when she was a kid, and things changed for some reason, and she doesn't
or whatever.
She doesn't exactly know what happened.
And that lines up pretty well with the idea that, well, Nagisa's mom was a teacher at some point for a kids' school. Oh, what do you know? She quit that job to then, well, essentially, what I think is implied, come home and take care of her daughter. Which, things that dad gets soft about when talking about, the past, but he doesn't like bring it up because they change the subject, which, emotional damage, daughter is going to die or is potentially going to be alive for, a number of years, but she's ill in a way that, is consistently affecting them, but not necessarily affecting her as much because of however they're taking care of her or what have you.
And if Sanai had a job before, but then she stopped that potentially to take care of Nagisa, then that maybe puts another filter or context to the idea that they're running this bakery when Sanai really isn't good at making baked goods.
I love how that's like an actual like legit point of like information for this here of like, oh yeah,
because it's something that they can do from home.
Yep. Yeah, and I would say in some ways the show's foreshadowing is really good in this regard, that it's not really a question of if, it's just a question of when, and that's something that's
what, how, and what it looks like.
Exactly. Yep. And in some ways I am ready to be surprised because I think the fact that there is an after story is kind of a spoiler in some aspects
of like, wait, what does that mean?
But it could be the thing of where it's like, no, it's not that she actually dies, it's just that she's unwell and she needs to be taken care of like quite a bit. And that's actually the whole like, point of this story is basically that Okazaki ends up kind of moving beyond his own stuff to being able to be there for other people.
Because if they do end up becoming any kind of official now that they're living together and all of that, that would be kind of fitting because they have both been helping each other
a lot,
so much more than either of them know, right?
Yeah,
and so that kind of
but in all, this episode is a really sweet one just to see Nagisa and or Tomoya or Okazaki going around and just seeing their dynamic together, which is primarily that she needs to kind of drag him around places and stuff because he's in conflict avoiding mode.
Yep.
Which is apt because there's a possibility that a new type of conflict will be introduced from his perspective rather soon. And will he run from this one? Interesting, ways to think about this here.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Okay, cool. A guy had to say goodbye to his harem today. Such a horrible thing.
Yes. Very sad.
It's okay. Another guy did the same thing earlier, but he didn't even realize he had it or lost it at that point. So, classic harem protagonist stuff.
And then Tsunohara just gets to see the cold, hard truth of the world.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I guess that's it. I'm just a side character in someone else's story.
Going from, oh, you already ate? You probably had dinner at Nagisa's, didn't you? Yeah. No. Now that we're staying together, wait, what?
Oh, so our parents approve of you. Wonderful.
Right.
I love in his mind, he's like watching the main character complete main story quests, and he's just like, can I like get a side quest or something? Like,
I had a dream once.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
We need Tsunohara to find love. That's what
I think we need everyone to find love.
That's true.
It's just
love
the
is
question.
all you need.
It's just the question of, at this point in the story, are we building up towards a character death? Are we building up towards like a new type of family? Basically, like having Okazaki as a member of the Furukawa family.
Yep.
In more ways than one, maybe. That could be rather interesting.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
But also, we have, an end point kind of looming over us with a future season called After Story, just there, waiting to be tapped into.
What's the after story? What's this end of this story that there needs to be an after story for? What
Just have to wait and see. In some ways, I don't have as much to say about this episode, although it seems like you have all kinds of things you can't say about this episode.
Okay, so I'm not going to talk about any details, of course, right? But you see the foreshadowing that tragedy is coming.
It's written plainly on the wall.
Plainly on the walls, right? And this is one of the things that I feel like a lot of the times when people are thinking about Clannad and when they're thinking about other shows that kind of end up taking some of the parts of Clannad that worked, I feel like a lot of the time it's important elements are missed in that, like, let's say Nagisa does die, right?
Okay.
If that does happen, that would be tragic, awful, etc., right? That it wouldn't be tragic, awful, etc. because we had a character that died. Right. It's because of all of the stuff surrounding that where we would, get to see her and Okazaki hanging out and getting closer and the way they help each other and, and how like he's kind of hopeless without her, right? That's the kind of stuff that would make that really suck, right?
Yep. True.
Seeing how much Akio and Sanai dote on Nagisa, right? What would that do to them if they were to lose their daughter, right? I feel like there's the whole anime trope of anime girl cough cough, and then someone comes in with a shotgun, right?
Yep.
Like, and it has plot written on it. But there is so much more to it than that, and I feel like Clannad as a show really understands that, and I had no idea that I would react this way when going back through this show. Like, I've had times where I re-listen to the soundtrack while I'm doing something else, and it's a cathartic, almost spiritual experience, right? But now going back through episode by episode and just seeing all the pieces come together in the ways that are the obvious foreshadowing bits, but then in ways that aren't obvious, and if you ever rewatch this show, Caleb, you'll start to see, right?
Okay.
And it's wonderful. Cool. And I wasn't ready. Like, and you even the first time you're never ready, right? But I
don't know what I need to be ready for.
Like,
I have definite.
That's the whole point.
Definite, assumptions and theories that I'm holding to of what's going to happen. But my main thing is that I want to know if this story is building up towards a death. Why does the story continue?
That's a real good question.
So, potentially beyond that.
Yeah. Because, if you know, if After Story is the same length as the original show, and like if Nagisa dies at the end of the show, and that's why After Story is called After Story, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
Post that.
Yeah, that's why I think there's a possibility that she doesn't necessarily die here. This is more the story of them finishing high school and falling in love.
Sure.
And she dies later. And it's just the thing of him then being made aware of whatever her ailment is, and he needs to take care of her.
Well, and depending on how it goes, theoretically, she might not be fully aware of her ailment.
I don't think she is.
Like, because she had the gap year, and okay, so maybe she is aware that, like, her health isn't the best.
Okay.
But, like, she doesn't understand why her parents are so worried.
To put it in perspective here, I think she understands that she's physically unwell. I don't think she understands that she's probably dying.
Gotcha.
I don't think her parents... No. I think her parents are aware that she has, like, years left at most.
Okay.
And from her perspective, she just had, you know, a really bad, like, you know, something or other happen physically to her. And she overcame it. But her parents could be like, no, this happens, like, every other, like...
Right, like
maybe every 3 years or so.
Right, or even if it's like every 10 years, and the last time it happened, she was like really young, but they remember and they're like, oh shit,
or,
you know.
Or the parents basically were told by the doctors, she has, you know, X amount of time left. And the parents were like, please, for the love of God, do not tell her. Please, she needs to have a normal life or what have you. There's a possibility you could be wrong or something like that.
Or
and
maybe
they're like, okay, but we have to tell her the next time something like this happens.
Right, like maybe it's we don't necessarily know if something like this will happen again, but there's a chance, you know?
Yeah.
And so until then, we won't say anything, you know? Because theoretically, she could be better.
Right, yeah. And maybe that's part of what basically they're doing is there's a lot that they're actually doing that's treating her on some level right now. And... they're waiting to see about like,
how well it works or
something. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But all that to be said, all the characters are supportive of them. You know, getting their club now in order here.
Yep.
And we got a festival coming up, which sounds wonderful. Nagisa seemed a little bit kind of hesitant about some things.
Yeah,
about that.
Like, and that could be just, you know, lack of confidence. She's had all of this negative pushback from the theater club stuff before, so maybe it's like I'm not used to the idea that we're actually going to be able to do this because it's been no all along the way. But who knows? Maybe there's something else to it.
Yeah,
you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, good episode. Lots of build up and apparently some dread.
Yeah. Pain. Lots and lots of pain.
All right. Well, I say maybe to end this up, I really liked the subtlety with a lot of the stuff with Tomoya's dad.
Yeah, that was good.
But
hurt.
That also felt like another dangling plot thread of this will be revisited, and it'll be really powerful when we do. But
come back every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the people that think that anime characters have to die in order for there to be pain, no, you're not even scratching the surface. There's so much more.
Yeah. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.